Welcome to today's video. Recently, during a deep conversation with a close friend, he shared something that left me reflecting. I wish I had known these signs earlier. After 2 years of love and planning for marriage, his partner admitted something that shattered him. "I'm still not over my ex." This story brought to mind a profound quote from Marcus Aurelius. "The greatest pain isn't in what we lose, but in failing to recognize the signs earlier." I'm certain many of you watching this have heard similar phrases. Words that seem simple but hide deeper, often painful truths. In today's video, I'll share 10 phrases, warning signs, that when you hear them, should prompt serious reflection. These aren't signs to run from discomfort, but to protect your inner peace. As Epictetus said, "It is better to endure one moment of pain and learn the lesson than to live in endless suffering." Here's a small challenge for you. Share in the comments the most toxic thing you've ever heard from a partner. Let's see if it matches anything on our list today. And if you find this video helpful, leave a like to help others discover it. Number 1. I'm not over my ex. This is one of the most common red flags you might hear. On the surface, it might sound like an honest admission, but as Seneca said, the truth, though painful, can sometimes be more damaging than comforting lies. Let me share a story. David, a client of mine, was in a 2-year relationship where his girlfriend constantly brought up her ex. She compared David to him, checked her ex's social media daily, and reminisced about old memories during dates. David believed patience and love would eventually help her move on. But as Marcus Aurelius teaches us, don't waste your time trying to change what you cannot control. When someone tells you they're not over their ex, it's not just a confession, it's a warning. You're not their first choice. You're competing with an idealized memory. People tend to forget the bad and glorify the good from their past. Epictetus said, "When someone tells you who they are, believe them." If someone openly admits they're not over their ex, take it at face value. Don't try to prove you're better than their past. Don't wait around for them to change. You deserve to be someone's priority, not their backup plan. What should you do when you hear this? Marcus Aurelius gives us the answer. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Don't get bitter. Don't try to compete. Walk away calmly, knowing your worth. True happiness doesn't come from being someone's second option. As the Stoics teach us, happiness comes from valuing what you have, not yearning for what someone else can't let go of. Number 2. You need to change. Here's another red flag. When someone tells you, you need to change. Maybe it's your wardrobe, your friends, or your hobbies. At first, it might sound like they care about your growth. But as Marcus Aurelius said, be true to who you are, not who others expect you to be. Take Mike, for example. He loved playing guitar and jamming with his band on weekends. His girlfriend started with small requests. "Can you skip band practice this week?" Soon it became, "You spend too much time on music." And eventually, "If you loved me, you'd quit the band altogether." Here's the truth. Real love doesn't seek to control. Someone who truly cares for you will encourage your growth, not demand you change your identity. Epictetus puts it best. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. You shouldn't need to justify your passions or individuality to someone who loves you. The danger lies in how these demands start small. They seem reasonable at first, but over time, you lose pieces of yourself. It's like the proverbial frog in boiling water. You don't realize the damage until it's too late. What should you do when someone tells you to change? Ask yourself, is this about becoming a better version of yourself or just becoming someone else? If it's the latter, remember Seneca's wisdom. The greatest power we have is the power to be ourselves. Don't give up that power. True love adds to your life. It doesn't subtract from who you are. The right person will inspire you to grow, not force you to abandon what makes you unique. Number 3. I'm too good for you. Here's a toxic phrase you might hear. I'm too good for you. Sometimes it's direct. Other times it's subtle. You're lucky to have me. Or, I could do so much better. This reminds me of Sarah's story. Her boyfriend would constantly remind her how many other women were interested in him, how easily he could find someone better, and how she should feel grateful to have him. Over time, Sarah began believing she wasn't good enough. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The opinions of others hold no power unless we grant it." When someone says they're too good for you, they're revealing their own insecurities, not your inadequacies. In a healthy relationship, both partners uplift each other. They don't keep score or wield superiority over one another. Epictetus teaches us, people are not disturbed by events, but by their judgments about events. If someone's ego leads them to put you down, it says more about their character than yours. What should you do when someone tells you this? Believe them, not in the way they think. Believe that they've shown their true colors and that they're not good for you. Seneca reminds us, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. The right partner sees your worth and treats you as an equal. Anyone who constantly boasts about their value is missing the point. Truly valuable people don't need to advertise their worth. They let their actions speak. Walk away from anyone who feels the need to tear you down to build themselves up. Number 4, I don't trust you. Finally, let's address a phrase that cuts deep. I don't trust you. Maybe it's subtle, questioning your whereabouts, checking your phone, or constantly seeking reassurance. At first, it might seem like concern, but it's often a sign of deeper issues. James, for instance, had a girlfriend who demanded his phone password, questioned every female contact, and even tracked his location. At first, he thought, if I have nothing to hide, what's the harm? But Marcus Aurelius would remind us, trust is built on respect, not surveillance. When someone doesn't trust you without reason, they're projecting their fears onto you. Epictetus said, people are not disturbed by things, but by their judgments about things. Their lack of trust often stems from their insecurities, not your actions. Lack of trust is a slow poison. It forces you to change your behavior, not because you're guilty, but to avoid suspicion. Over time, you lose your freedom and peace of mind. And here's the truth. No amount of proof will ever be enough. What should you do? First, ask yourself if you've given them a reason not to trust you. If not, remember this. A relationship without trust is like a phone without a battery. It doesn't work. Save your energy for someone who starts with trust and builds from there. Life is too short to prove your innocence in a trial that never ends. Number 5. I can do better than you. Let's start with a phrase that stings. I can do better than you. Sometimes they'll say it outright. Other times they disguise it in subtler ways. I'm settling for you, or you're lucky I'm still here. This isn't just an insult, it's a form of emotional manipulation. I once knew someone, Lisa, who spent 3 years in a relationship where her partner constantly reminded her that he had better options. He'd brag about the attention he got from other women or mention how his ex was a model, always framing it like he was doing her a favor by staying. Marcus Aurelius has a great reminder for situations like this. The opinion of someone who disrespects you is not worth keeping. Here's the truth. When someone says they can do better, they're revealing their character, and it's not pretty. If they truly had better options, they'd take them. The reality? They're staying because their ego thrives on feeling superior to someone else. As Epictetus put it, people are disturbed not by things, but by their view of them. What's worse is the longer you hear this, the more you might start to believe it. Slowly, it poisons your self-esteem. You begin to think, maybe they're right. Maybe I don't deserve better. Stop right there. That's exactly what they want you to believe. Here's an important truth. People who are truly valuable never feel the need to announce it. It's like wealth. The richest people don't go around flaunting it. Likewise, those who constantly claim they can do better are often hiding deep insecurities. As Seneca said, the loudest barking dog is the most afraid. So what do you do when someone tells you they can do better? Believe them, but not in the way they expect. Believe that you can do better than someone who doesn't appreciate you. Because anyone who tears you down to feel taller is showing you their weakness, not their strength. When someone says, I can do better than you, they're really telling you three things. They don't respect you, they don't value you, and, most importantly, they don't deserve you. A real partner builds you up, they don't knock you down. Remember, your worth isn't tied to someone else's opinion. As the Stoics taught, the true currency of life is self-respect. So when someone tries to undermine your value, thank them for showing their true colors. Wish them luck finding their better option and walk away with your head held high. The right person won't need to be convinced of your worth. They'll feel lucky to have found you. Number 6, my friends are more important. Let's talk about a phrase that might sound harmless at first. My friends are more important. You've probably experienced this in some form. Canceled plans, ignored calls, or feeling like you're always second to their social circle. I remember a client, Mike, who dated someone for 8 months. Every time he planned something meaningful, her friends would take priority. Birthday dinner? Sorry, Sarah needs help moving. Anniversary plans? Oops, girls' night came up. Even Valentine's Day was dismissed because her friend was dealing with a breakup. As Seneca said, people's actions speak so loudly I can't hear what they're saying. Let's be clear, having friendships is healthy and necessary, but there's a difference between maintaining relationships and constantly making your partner feel like an afterthought. As Marcus Aurelius put it, what we do now echoes in eternity. Actions reveal our priorities more than words ever can. When someone consistently puts their friends before you, they're showing you exactly where you stand. You're not their partner, you're their backup plan, the filler for when nothing better is happening. Epictetus reminds us, actions show a person's priorities better than their words. The toxic part? They'll often gaslight you for wanting more time together. Comments like, "Why are you so clingy?" or "Why can't you be more understanding?" make you feel guilty for desiring basic respect. Here's the harsh truth. Someone who always chooses their friends over you isn't just making a choice about their time. They're making a statement about your value in their life. So what should you do? Recognize that this isn't a competition between friends and relationships. It's about balance and respect. A healthy relationship makes room for both. If you're constantly sidelined, it's not because you're asking for too much. You're asking for the bare minimum, to feel valued. Marcus Aurelius said, "What we love tells us what we are. If they consistently love putting you last, maybe it's time for you to put yourself first." Number 6, I'm not ready for a relationship. Here's a classic line, I'm not ready for a relationship. Yet somehow they're perfectly fine enjoying all the perks of one. Funny how that works, right? Take Dan, for example. He spent an entire year seeing someone who always claimed she wasn't ready for commitment. They went on dates, talked daily, shared intimate moments, everything that defines a relationship. But the moment he brought up making it official, she'd hit him with the "I'm not ready" excuse. As Seneca wisely observed, actions speak louder than words and often contradict them. The truth is, when someone says they're not ready for a relationship but keeps you around, what they're really saying is, "I'm not ready for a relationship with you." They're happy to use your time and energy while leaving the door open for something or someone they perceive as better. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the best revenge is to be unlike the one who caused the injury. So don't waste time waiting for someone who's keeping you as their just in case. What's worse is the mixed signals they'll throw your way. Phrases like, "I really like you," "I just need more time," are designed to keep you hooked. But as Epictetus said, first decide who you would be, then act accordingly. If someone truly wants to be with you, they'll make it clear. Here's the key takeaway. People who aren't ready for a relationship don't act like they're in one. They don't create a pseudo-relationship while keeping their escape route open. So when you hear "I'm not ready for a relationship," believe them. Not because it's true, but because they're showing you they're not ready to commit to you. That's all you need to know. Your time is too valuable to spend on someone who keeps you in emotional limbo. As Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one. Number 7, I don't believe in labels. Let's tackle this one. I don't believe in labels. At first, it might sound enlightened, even modern, but more often than not, it's a strategy, a way to keep things undefined while reaping all the benefits of a committed relationship. Consider Amanda's story. She dated someone for nearly a year who would constantly say, "Why do we need to call it something? What we have is special without labels." Yet when it came to introducing Amanda to friends or family, she was always just a friend. That's not enlightenment, it's evasion. Seneca said it best. If one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable. In relationships, clarity isn't just nice, it's necessary. Without it, you're drifting aimlessly, at the mercy of someone else's whims. The truth is, when someone says they don't believe in labels, what they often mean is, "I don't want to be held accountable." Labels bring expectations, respect, loyalty, consistency, and that scares people who only want the fun parts of a relationship without the responsibility. Epictetus reminds us, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. Your power lies in knowing your worth. If someone won't define the relationship, it's because they don't want the relationship you're seeking. Here's the reality. Meaningful relationships thrive on mutual understanding and commitment. Labels aren't about being old-fashioned or clingy. They're about knowing where you stand. Marcus Aurelius said, "Let each thing you do, say, or intend be done with a clear purpose." If someone refuses to give clarity, they're showing you that their purpose doesn't align with yours. It's not your job to convince them otherwise. Instead, channel the wisdom of Stoicism. Detach from those who fail to meet your standards and hold fast to what aligns with your values. Number 8, I'm too busy right now. Another common excuse. I'm too busy right now. While everyone has periods of busyness, this line is often code for, "I'm just not prioritizing you." I recall a story about James, who was dating someone in medical school, a famously demanding field. Despite her packed schedule, she always found time for James, whether it was a quick coffee or a thoughtful message. Contrast that with another client, Sarah, whose partner used busyness as an excuse to ghost her for days, only to show up when it was convenient for him. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The point? People make time for what matters to them. Yes, life gets hectic, but it's not about how much time someone has. It's about how they prioritize the time they do have. When someone repeatedly claims they're too busy, what they're really saying is, "You're not a priority." Epictetus said, "Circumstances don't make the man, they only reveal him to himself." Someone who truly values you will communicate, even amidst their busiest moments. They'll let you know you matter, not with grand gestures, but through small, consistent actions. What should you do? First, recognize the difference between genuine busyness and avoidance. A healthy relationship doesn't require 24/7 availability. It requires mutual effort, even in small ways. If their busyness feels like a convenient excuse, it probably is. Seneca's wisdom is fitting here. It is not that we have so little time, but that we waste so much of it. Don't waste yours on someone who consistently leaves you feeling like an afterthought. Instead, invest your energy in people who align with your values and make you feel seen, even in their busiest moments. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, what stands in the way becomes the way. Use their lack of effort as a guide. Redirect your energy toward those who genuinely care. Number 9. I don't want to ruin our friendship. This is a classic. I don't want to ruin our friendship. At first glance, it seems thoughtful, even noble. But beneath the surface, it often translates to, I don't want to commit to you, but I also don't want to lose the benefits of your presence in my life. Consider Chloe's story. She had a close male friend who she deeply cared for. Over time, her feelings grew beyond friendship. When she confessed them, he responded with, I value our friendship too much to risk it. Yet he continued to rely on her for emotional support, companionship, and even flirtatious banter. The dynamic became a one-sided investment for Chloe. Seneca's advice cuts through this dilemma. A friend is someone who wishes for and works toward the best for you. If someone truly values your friendship, they wouldn't hold you in limbo for their convenience. The truth is, real friendship isn't ruined by honesty. In fact, it thrives on it. Marcus Aurelius said, the object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. Settling for less than what you want out of fear is a form of insanity, one where you prioritize their comfort over your truth. Epictetus reminds us, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. If someone doesn't reciprocate your feelings, accept their stance with grace, but don't let them keep you in a gray area. True friendship is mutual. It doesn't leave you questioning your worth or suppressing your desires. Here's the Stoic takeaway. If someone uses friendship as a shield, they're not protecting the bond, they're protecting themselves. Respect yourself enough to seek clarity, and if necessary, let go. You deserve relationships built on reciprocity, not uncertainty. Number 10, let's keep things casual. Finally, the dreaded, let's keep things casual. For some, this works if both parties are genuinely aligned. But more often than not, this phrase hides an imbalance. One person wants more, while the other wants less. Take Daniel's experience. He started seeing someone who was upfront about wanting something casual. Daniel agreed, thinking he could change their mind over time. Months later, he realized he was pouring his heart into someone who treated him like an option. It wasn't casual, it was unbalanced. Marcus Aurelius would advise, you have to assemble your life action by action and be satisfied if each one achieves its goal. If you want a serious relationship, don't settle for a casual one. It's not your job to convince someone to value you more than they do. Seneca's wisdom applies here. Associate with those who will make a better man of you. If someone's version of casual leaves you feeling undervalued, they're not making you better. They're holding you back. Epictetus also reminds us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Be honest about what you want and align your actions accordingly. Staying in a casual dynamic when you crave something deeper only leads to resentment. The Stoic path is clear. Respect their desires, but don't compromise your own. If someone says they want to keep it casual, take them at their word and decide if that aligns with your values. If it doesn't, walk away with dignity. As Marcus Aurelius said, to love only what happens, what was destined. No greater harmony. True harmony comes from relationships where both people share the same vision and effort. Don't be afraid to seek that. It's out there. As we wrap up, let's reflect on the 10 critical warning signs we've discussed. From someone telling you they're still not over their ex, to asking you to change who you are, or insisting on keeping things casual, these aren't just simple comments. They are serious red flags that demand our attention. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. But I would add, it also depends on the relationships you choose to surround yourself with. These toxic phrases aren't just words. They reveal the true character of the person speaking them and their ability to nurture a healthy relationship. Think of these warning signs as a compass guiding you away from emotional turbulence and toward a more peaceful, fulfilling life. The Stoics didn't focus on finding someone who never says these things. Instead, they taught us to develop the wisdom and inner strength to recognize and respond appropriately when we hear them. Remember, walking away from a toxic relationship isn't a sign of failure. It's a sign of self-respect. It's not about being weak, it's about being strong enough to protect your peace. As Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with someone who might need it, and drop a comment with your own experience. Your story might be the turning point someone else needs to recognize these signs before it's too late. Above all, remember, you deserve someone who appreciates your worth, respects your boundaries, and loves you for who you are, not who they want you to become. Until next time, stay strong, stay wise, and most importantly, stay true to yourself.